All right, welcome back again. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a long time and I do apologize, but life gets in the way. What can I say? But we are here, we are still here, and there have been some changes to the arcade, and I do need to make an update video to show what's going on down here. But I did think about just shooting a video today because I'm going to do an upgrade. Sorry, it's a little bit loud here. I'm going to do an upgrade. Oh my gosh, we've not seen this before. This is a new addition. Obviously not been talked about yet on the channel. Obviously this has not really been talked about much either. Yeah, we got the Medieval Madness done and it looks fantastic. I need to go in depth on that and talk about it more. Adam's Family, I'm not sure if I've discussed either. I had one in the States and I sold it, and I bought one here which was a wreck and went through and rebuilt it. So yeah, there have been a lot of changes that I do need to cover in more detail, but that is not the intention of the video today. Today I do want to talk about TNA, and today I think we're going to fix the worst thing there is about TNA. If I had to say what the worst thing about this game is, I'm looking right at it. I would say it's the screen. You know, this game is it's a hit. I've had it now, what, about 2 years, a little bit more. Whenever we got parties, whenever we got people over and people learn this game and discover this game, it gets played constantly. And it's been very reliable. I've had just a couple little issues. The automatic shooter down here, the metal bracket, I had to get that welded. A friend of mine was able to weld that for me and fix it up. And I had some coil. Let's see, these were the coil stops, the end stops on the coil that that Spooky had put in there when they built the game. Those things like disintegrated. And some people were telling me that the new sterns do the same thing. So I'll have to check out Godzilla here in a while and make sure it's not having the same issue. But the biggest thing about this game that I still didn't like was the screen, okay? So what's up with the screen? Well, if you ask me, Spooky just went bottom of the barrel with these screens. I mean, maybe I just need to do it before and after, but the blacks on these screens are pretty terrible. And it's just got this washed out look. You see it, you know, the blacks are really not even black. They're like a dark blue, and the contrast is pretty low. And I've jacked the contrast up and tried to make it look better, but that's the best I could come up with, right? And it's been that way now for 2 years. But, you know, there are ways around this. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, well, I'll tell you what we have. We have an LCD. Uh-oh. This is, Bonsai Run's freaking out. Bonsai Run's freaking out. I got a power supply on order for it. I tried to rebuild the power supply on it, and it fixed it for a little while, but it's still resetting itself. You see, it just happened again. So I'm actually going to turn Bonsai Run off because it's just going to sit here and drive me nuts. But I have a power supply on the way for that thing. And I think it's going to be here tomorrow. But let me see if I can get this out here with one hand. What do we got? We have an LCD. So here's what I got. I got an LCD that apparently some other people have done this to their Ultraman and what's the other one that Spooky does? Rick and Morty. People recommended that this is a pretty cheap option to upgrade the panel. So obviously this is just the panel, just the LCD itself. So we've got a connector here, a 30 pin, and I had to buy this little interface board separately. So we got a couple things here. Would be a little easier with two hands, but you can kind of see there what we got going on. So let me get this stuff out here and we'll figure out exactly how we're going to do this. I might have to 3D print some things to get this to fit, but let me get the tripod, set the camera up, and we're going to open the TNA up, and we're going to take a look at what we got going on now and how we can replace this monitor. Alrighty, here we go. So I got the rest of the arcade turned off just to get rid of some of the noise. So here we go. We fold this down and we can see, you know, the basic panel that they installed on this thing. And looks like we've got some metal brackets here holding this thing on with 4 self-locking nuts. Obviously it's HDMI. You know, you get your 1/8 inch audio jack. Excuse me, it's a power adapter there, and then here's the 1/8 inch 3.5 millimeter audio jack. So to me, pretty simple, but we got to mount the new one. So let me go get some tools, and we're going to take this old one off and power the game down, obviously, and we'll see how we're gonna mount this new one. So, okay, here is our existing LCD, and I'm going to use this for something. I think I'm going to 3D print me a frame for this and turn it into something. Here's our new monitor, and it's much thinner, much lighter. I mean, it doesn't have the metal frame. I mean, that's good and bad. The absence of a metal frame means that it's a bit more fragile. And I'm gonna have to clean this off here while I have this apart. But this guy, it's got a protective film on it right now, but I'm gonna leave that in place. So it should be going like this. Whoa, should be going like that. Yeah, just like that. I think we're gonna need to 3D print some brackets to use the existing holes, and then to clamp onto that. And we've got this plexiglass shield here, protector, which will be nice. So that'll go back in its place, and it's got the holes. So we could probably use that as a guide. And then this monitor, we can put it on top of this and kind of get an idea where our 3D printed brackets need to go. Okay. So let's take this over to the shop. Oh, and then our board, I mean, we'll have to figure that out in the end, but our board we'll have to mount on here somehow. I mean, I could put Velcro on here or maybe hot glue it. So we'll sort that out later. Maybe I could 3D print a base plate, glue that on here, and then screw down the board to that. That'll probably be a better solution. So I'm going to take this over to the shop as well. So let's go over to the shop and see what we're going to do here. Alrighty, we're in the shop, so let's get some brackets made up. And here's what I got. Sketched up some brackets here and here to hold the adapter board, the interface board, and the button panel. And then these I found on Thingiverse, some very simple brackets that somebody had already made up. So easy enough. Let's slice it and throw it on the printer. And it's probably going to be about 3.5 hours. Yeah, 3 hours and 41 minutes. We'll get these printed out, and I'll be right back. All right, it's the next day, and here's what I got made up. 3D printed a couple brackets here, and this one here I've already hot glued down. But yeah, these are just simple little brackets with a 3mm heat insert thrown in there. So that's going to sit like that, and we'll get these things mounted up. Ready to install this thing. So here's what we ended up with. Sorry for the lines on the video. I think it comes from my lights that I use here. These Harbor Freight lights workshop lights. But anyway, you can see the 3D printed brackets just hot glued on the back of the monitor bezel, or the monitor panel. And that should work just great. So yeah, first things first, we got this plexiglass shield that goes here, screen guard, screen protector. It's going to go in there. And underneath this, underneath this mesh that they have here for the speakers, like that. And then our monitor, it's got a protective coating on it here, and it looks perfectly clean, so I'm not going to wipe it or anything. Alrighty, so we got her all done, and I had to add some foam pads underneath these 3D printed brackets here because it was still a little bit loose. It could move around, so I would just go ahead and modify this design, make it a little stronger so it doesn't flex, and also make it a little bit closer to the screen. Anyway, that's all good. So everything's fastened in there nice and tight, plugged in. So yeah, let's turn the lights off here and let's fire it up and see what it looks like. Ready? There we go. All right. Well, we got a splash screen. Looks good so far. Looks good so far. Pretty clean. Oh yeah, there we go. That looks a lot better. And it looks centered. Looks really well centered. Yeah, baby, look at that. Well, check it out. I'd say it looks pretty amazing now. Definitely a lot better than it was. Man, look at the blacks. Look at the deep blacks. It's great. It looks really terrific to the naked eye. And yeah, I would, for 50 or 60 bucks, I would, let me see if I can scroll through, get back to some of the other animations here. For 50, 60 bucks, that is definitely the way to go. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, it's great. Should have came with a screen like that. Now that is an IPS screen. I can't remember the resolution, but I'll try to put it in the description of the video. It's an IPS screen, and I'll give you a link to it. So yeah, it's all good to go now. Got her back together, and while we were at it, we went ahead and replaced the power supply on Bonsai Run too. So it's happy now. It's got its 5.15 volts or 5.13 volts, I think I measured it at. And here's the original one. You know, I had recapped this thing. I changed this cap, and I changed a bunch of the small ones. These high voltage caps I didn't have, but the issue wasn't with the high voltage, it was with the 5 volts. So it could have been one of the other components up here. Actually, this stuff is high voltage too. Where's the 5 volt stuff? Can't remember. Can't remember. But anyway, this thing, even after I rebuilt it, it was still only about, still only about 4.9 volts. Maybe it could have been the voltage regulator, I don't know. It was still only about 4.9, so you saw it was still tripping. And I'm gonna just keep this as a spare. It's already been hacked on in the past by a previous owner, so yeah, it'll act as a spare. I think I can only use that in the Pinbot and maybe high speed. I'm not sure, or maybe not even Pinbot, because Pinbot's got that relay up here. So anyway, but we've got it, and here's the rest of the arcade, and I will try to get a video together now that I'm back in the recording mode. I'll try to put together a walkthrough video, and we'll talk about all the machines and where we're at and where we're going to go with this thing. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate it, and keep tuned to the channel, and we'll see you guys around.